Comedy's awesome, isn't it? It's just a great thing. It truly is. You see comedy in everyday life. Every time you turn around, everywhere you look, it's great. You know, being gifted is such a awesome thing. Just out of nowhere, emotions will really grab you, and you own it, and you really just get all up in it. And then you find out it wasn't even your emotions. It's like, damn, I spent a lot of time. I put a lot of time into that. I really owned that. It's like, it wasn't even my emotions. Well, ain't that a bitch? I love watching movies, and then, you're right in the middle of it, and it's really getting good, and it's really getting heavy, and then your hubby comes out and goes, we already watched that. Like, don't be shitting in my cerebral. How you gonna tell me what I've seen, what I ain't seen? We already watched that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I should have remembered it by now. It's almost over. Well, we already seen it. I'm like, well, ain't that a bitch? I don't remember damn of it. The mind is a wonderful thing. My oldest daughter loves it when I tell the story. She gets so mad. But I wanted to test her wits, and I was like, hey, Mindy, look, a flying pig. And she looks up in the sky and she goes, where? I don't see it. But she got my back because me, when I was freehanding on my 18-speed bike, I got my ass kicked by a mailbox. The neighbors met my face. I went one way, my bike went the other way. She was doing kickflips on her skateboard. She was on the ground rolling. I looked at the dude on the screen porch. I said, you didn't see shit. That didn't happen. Yeah, that was a whole ass thing. That happened. Need to say, I didn't freehand my bike for a while because my back tire was bent. That's some cray cray. You can't make this shit up. Yep. Having a lisp is awesome sauce. I was saying Arnold's last name wrong my whole entire life. Or I'd ask my husband, hey, you want to watch a horror movie? And he'd be like, hell yeah, let's go. And I'd be like, a scary movie. And he'd be like, well, why didn't you just say so? I did. And you would laugh. Oh, that's real funny. You think you're so funny. Yeah, living on the beach side was awesome. My mom would say I'd sing into a hairbrush in front of the 7-Eleven to people coming in and out of the store. Boy, I tell you what, if I tried doing some shit like that today, you'd be seeing a cardboard box freaking moving across the parking lot like trying to escape, and I swear I would have you think you were tripping balls. Rubbing your eyes and then looking to see if what you're seeing is even real. Or when I was 8 and I was an awkward tomboy. I call myself a tom girl. I was a pretty awkward tom girl. One of those ones that did dumb shit to try and make people laugh. I was like 8 years old. My brother and my brother-in-law and my sister were sitting in their tailgate. And I always go run up to them, and I would rip a big frickin' fart after eating Bush's baked beans, and they would all both laugh, and I would laugh. Yeah, it wasn't so funny one day, because one day I did it, I frickin' ran inside grabbing my boot, and they were laughing even harder. Whew, that's funny now, but it sure wasn't funny then. I had to take a shower. As that's burned into the brain. Should never let me live that one down. Or she would collect every damn Cabbage Patch doll, and she wouldn't let me freaking play with not one of them bitches. She's like, don't you touch my Cabbage Patch dolls. But that's okay. One of my old best friend's moms, Chrissy Davis, her mom took me and her to Toys R Us one day. I was like 16. She was like, 18, and bought us Cabbage Patch doll. And that's funny because my mom bought me one when I got my first tooth taken out. And I woke up, I swear to God, I was freaked out. I woke up next to a Cabbage Patch doll who had the same missing tooth. I was like, ain't this some shit? That's not creepy at all. She put that thing next to me when I slept at night. I wake up and it freaked me out every time. Whew. The first Thanksgiving, I was gonna make a pumpkin pie, and I had a Skip, and I texted his sister and asked her how long I put it into the oven for, when I know you chill it, and she replied with this big ha 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 ha, and I told her I had a Skip, and I know that you chill it, and she'll never let me live that one down. That's funny. That actually happened. Ain't this a bitch? Oh, so many smokers, yep. We got it great, especially when you light it backwards. Except for that's not the bad part. The bad part is when you smell that tar smell and you got a flame up there and you're like, yeah, that's fun. I clip off the burnt part. It kind of takes you a minute to realize it and you're like, whoa. Fun times, true story. My nephew Michael Tristan, he's always been one of my besties, but he'd do me dirty all the time. He was a sneaky little shit. But, little fucker. We were playing with Play-Doh one day, and he made a cookie, and he was like, here, eat this, it's a cookie. And then I did, and I was like, eh. And he goes, it's Play-Doh, and then he started laughing. I was like, you fucking ass. We were like 8. Oh, or I put up a Christmas tree one year and my husband came home and said I put it up upside down. Yep. Yep. Or how he was on the ATV and he was dragging the little red and white, plastic cart and behind him, and my brother CJ's head was out the front, his legs were out the doors, it was flipping around, then someone had left a firework and it hit Frank in the head and you heard him say, what the hell? And then I like Chucky and Jennifer, and then he bought me a Chucky doll, and he thought it'd be funny. I fell asleep on the couch, and he raised his arm up with the plastic knife, and I woke up, I had to go get a drink, and I punched it in the face. Yeah, good times. Yeah. Of course, we were mudding in the backwoods, and we were all crunked up, and his sister took a tight trail corner, and it flipped over, and she was on top of me, and she's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm under you, bitch. Oh, I didn't see you there. Yeah, you probably did it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome, awesome, awesome. When I was 10 years old, I made a mean face, and my sister asked me what I was doing. She said, are you constipated? I said, I'm making a mean face. She goes, you need to work on that. You're not very good at it. Yeah, ain't this a bitch?